All right, so we're going to go ahead and do this by substitution. You learned this over the weekend with the video. All right, so all you're doing is substituting one inside the other, okay? So this one, on all of these three, there's one of them that's already solved for y. So all you're doing is substituting it inside the y. All right, so this would be negative 2x minus 3 times 6x minus 11. Instead of the y, you're going to write that down. And that equals negative 7. And after that, equation solver takes over, right? What does x equal to? 2? Yes? All right, now I already have the value of x, so to get the value of y, substitute the value of the x on the x so you can get y. So y equals, instead of 6x, is going to be 6 times 2, which is 12, minus 1, 11. So the solution for the systems of equations would be 2 and 1. 2 and 1. 2 and 1, right? 2 and 1. All right, next one. Substitute that there. So this would be 2x minus 3, open parentheses, x minus 1 equals negative 1. Equation solver takes over. Did anybody do this one? X equals what? 4. And now I'm going to come over here and plug in substitute the 4, right? So y equals 4 minus 1, which equals 3. So my point would be 4 and 3. All right, so substitute that there. So this is 5x minus 4, open parentheses, and substitute what y is equal to, which is negative 3x plus 5, and that equals negative 3. Equation solver takes over. And x equals 1. If you haven't watched the video, I highly suggest watching the video. Then I'm going to go ahead and substitute the value of x on that first one, right? So this would be negative 3 times 1, which is negative 3, plus 5. Y equals 2. So my point would be 1 and 2. Now, how many solutions does each one of these systems have? 2 solutions, really? I don't think they either have no solution, 1 solution, or infinite amount of solution. They only have 1 solution. So what does that mean? Are they consistent or inconsistent? Consistent. Are they dependent or independent? Independent, because it's only 1 solution. One doesn't depend on the other, right? Very good. Good job. Okay, let's go to what we need to be doing today. My paper managers. Paper managers. They're over there, where it says toolbox. No, there's 2 different ones. So one, you take care of one, and Priscilla takes care of the other one. Not Priscilla, Dora. Priscilla, vete y ponme eso allá, mami, gracias. What type of what? 10 minutes before 11:50. 11:50. That'll give us 15 minutes to do the exit ticket and pack up. All right. We're not going to do all of them. We're going to work on this one first, which is 8.2. So look for 8.2. If you don't have it, the girls are still passing them out, so no need to panic. All right, so it's 8.2. We're going to do this by substitution. You guys watch a video, so I don't feel like I need to do all of them, but let me know if I do, okay? So are we good? So let's go ahead and start with the first one. This one is already solved for y. So I'm going to take that 3x 3x and substitute it where? Not 3x. Yeah, I know. And 3x and substitute it where the y is. With me? All right, so this would be 5x plus 2 times 3x equals 44. And then after that, equation solver takes over. So what do we got, my babies? Yay? Finish it working it out just to make sure that you got that 4. And now I'm going to come over here and substitute that 4. So that will be 3 times 4, which equals 12. So y equals 12. Okay, so my point would be 4 and 12. And if you don't have it, it's not correct. That's why I like this worksheets. It's not because of the answer to the little questions, but it's because it has the answer bank, and you can make sure you can check after. You can self-check and make sure that it's correct. All right, with me? Can we move on? All right, so the next one, you already have 1, but not solve for y, solve for x. So that means that the x is going to be the one that's going to be substituted by all of that, and you're actually solving for y and not x, okay? So this one would be 5y minus 1 plus 2y equals 13. Now in the calculator, you're going to put x, right? But make sure that you understand that that's not x, that is y. All right, talk to me, babies. Y equals 2. Do we agree? All right. And now you got to come over here and substitute the value of 2. So this would be the y, the 2 for the y, I'm sorry. So this would be 5 times 2, which is 10, right? Minus 1, x equals 9. So what is my point? Thank you. Thank you for not saying 2 and 9. The x comes first, right? So 9 and 2. There it is, far, right? All right. Number 5. We're only going to do the ones that are highlighted, okay? So you don't need to worry about the ones that I did not highlight. Ooh, how do we do this? They're both solved for y. So you solve for x? Why would I want to solve for x if they're already solved for? What do you mean by solve for x? Let me stop. What do you mean? Let's explore that, because you're not wrong. What do you mean by solve for x? So they're both solved for y, and now you're telling me, so you solve for x. What does that mean? You're not wrong. But I need you to explain, Dora. Help him out. You don't need to put them in standard form. No, you don't. That if you put them on standard form, then you're actually working a little harder. Because you're going to have to, the purpose of, what was the purpose of this? One of them was already solved, right? And then you substitute it, right? One of them is already solved, and then you substitute it. So in this one, they've already solved both of them. So Evelyn, the one that's not my baby, Evelyn, tell me. Yeah, but what you can, and I'm going to tell you something. If this was a test and you had a choice on how to solve it, that's the way that I would solve it. I would just go to y equal to, I graph them, and I find the point of intersection, right? But in this one, I have to do it by substitution. Add them? So that's what's y equal to, right? So why do I do with that? In front of the other one. Very good. So you equal them to each other because guess what? Y equals y. So you equal them to each other. So this would be 6x minus 5 equals negative x plus 9. If you use my strategies, what are my strategies? I highlight the one that I'm going to substitute, and then I highlight where I'm going to substitute it. If you would have done that, you would have been okay. All right, then calculator takes over, right? Equation solver. X is going to be 0. I'm not sure. Is the value of X 0? I don't think so. I don't see any X's over here on my answer bank as zeros. I see Y's as 0, but not X's. What does X equal to? 2. And then does it matter which one I use to plug in? No, because they're both solved. I would use the easiest. To me, this is the easiest one. But you can use the first one. It really doesn't matter. So I'm going to use the second one. That will be negative, and then 2 plus 9. What is negative 2 plus 9? 7. Very good. So what's my point? 2 and 7. 2 and 7, and it's this one right here. Yay? All right, let's go to the next one. What do I have to do on the next one? I got to work a little bit more on this one. I got to solve for y. So which one would you solve for y? The first one, because the only thing that you have to do is what? Plus 3x, right? So y equals 3x plus 7. And now I'm going to take this and substitute it on the y. Very good. So this would be 5x plus 2, open parentheses, 3x plus 7, and that equals 3. You guys have it made because you can use equation solver. When I was in school, I wasn't able to, so I had to do a whole lot of math before I could find my answers. Do we agree? Yes. All right, now I got to come over here and substitute that value of the x, right? So that will be 3 times negative 1, which is negative 3. And negative 3 plus y plus 7 is 4. So the answer would be negative 1 and 4. It's right here. Okay? All right, what about number 9? What do you have to do? You can solve for y or x. It really doesn't matter. Both of them are just as easy. I will go ahead and solve for y just to get in the habit, right? Because that's what we usually do. We solve for y. So all you need to do is take away x, right? So y equals negative x plus 1. Now I'm going to take that and substitute it on the y. So this is 5x minus 4, negative x plus 1, and that equals negative 7. Okay? And then calculator takes over. 7? Oh, okay. Oh, you're saying plus 7. You're talking out loud. Okay. You're thinking out loud. Cornelius, you working, baby? Negative 1/3? Is it negative 0.33333333? All right, so most definitely negative 1/3. Now, come over here and substitute it, right? So that will be negative and then open parentheses, negative 1/3 plus 1. That's a positive, right? Negative times a negative is a positive. So that would be 1/3 plus 1, which is 1 and 1/3. Yes? And then change it to a mixed number. I'm sorry, not mixed number. It's already a mixed number. Change it to an improper fraction. So 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So that would be 4/3. So there it is. It's right there. Negative 1/3 and and 4/3, right? Okay? Even though the equation solver is going to give it to you as a decimal, the test will have it as a fraction, so you got to be careful, okay? You got to change it. All right, so talk to me about which one would you solve and for what? Solve for x on the second one, right? Which would only be adding to y. So x equals 2y plus 2. And now I'm going to take that and plug it in the x. Not the y, the x. That's a very common error. You plug it in the y instead of the x. So be careful. You got to pay attention to what you're doing. You're really not doing much. The calculator is doing most of it, right? Okay, so the least that you can do is pay attention and make sure that you substitute in correctly. All right, so that would be -5, and then you open parentheses, 2y plus 2 plus 3y equals 11. And that even though on equation solver you're going to put x, you need to understand that you're really solving for y. That's why I like to write it. Because then I see that x and I get confused. That's okay. Finish it off. I need somebody to make sure that she's correct. And even if some people say yes it is, you need to make sure that you're doing it correctly. So you need to finish it off. -3?
Yes,
All right. You're happy now?
yes.
All right. Good. Thank you. It's all about Virginia being happy. All right. So now we're going to come over here and plug in that -3, right? So that will be 2 times -3, which is -6. And -6 plus 2. All right, so what's my point, babies? -4 and -3. Where is it? I don't see it. Uh-oh. Oh, my God, and I couldn't see it. What's wrong with me? See, I'm getting old. My birthday's coming. I'm getting old. Yes, it's next week! That Tuesday! That Tuesday! That Tuesday! Next Tuesday. Not tomorrow, next Tuesday. Yes, you gotta and you gotta do like that. All right, let's go. A math test is worth 100 points and has 30 problems. Each problem is worth either 3 points or 4 points. How many 4-point problems are there? All right. So, you need to translate this word problem into systems of equation, which means you need 2 equations, right? All right, those equations need to be equal to totals. Is 100 point a total? Yes, that's how many points they're on the test. Is 30 problems a total? Yes, that's how many problems are on that test, right? You guys take quizzes every Friday, and how many problems are there? Between 10 or 11, right? And then if you want to figure out the total of each one, you take those 10 and you divide it by 100. No, you take 100 and you divide it by 10, and then you know that each one would be 10 points, right? So this is a total, and that's a total. Which means one of the equations need to be equal to 100. The other equation needs to be equal to 30. Now I need to figure out what is x and what is y. So what would x be? There are 2 different kinds of points, right? Some of them are worth 3 points and some of them are worth 4 points. So these are problems that are worth 3 points, and these are problems that are worth 4 points. Yay? All right, so now let's come up with the equations. 3 what? 3 what? Go, go, go. 3 what? 3x. And that equals 100. Now, why did I put it with the 100 and not the 30? Because 3 is the amount of points that each one of those problems has. And 4 is the amount of points that each one of those problems have. And if I'm dealing with the 3 and the 4, which are points, it needs to be equal to the 100 points, right? Points with points. Now, what about the other one? Say that again. Thank you. Because you have two different kinds of problems. You have problems that are x's, that are worth 3 points, and you have problems that are y's, which are worth 4 points, but you don't know how many you got. So, let's say you got 15 problems that are x's. How many y problems do you have? 15 more, because they need to add up to 30. Good job. Very good. So, in word problems, one of them, 99% of the time, one of the equations is going to be x plus y equals something. Always going to be like that. Okay? Not always, but 99% of the time. All right? So now, let's solve it by substitution. What would you solve for what? And I would definitely do the bottom for y. I just like to keep the y. If it's just as easy, right? It's just as easy to solve for x as it is to solve for y. I would definitely solve for y. Okay? And then my equation becomes y equals negative x plus 30. And then I'm going to take this and substitute it there. Okay? All right, so then that would be 3x plus 4 times negative x plus 30 equals 100. Evelyn, you broke my heart. You broke my heart, Evelyn. That's the second time you broke my heart, because I remember in summer she broke my heart the first time, didn't she? Yep, she sure did. All right, what does x equal to? 20. So the one that's not my baby was right. Whatever. All right, so now I'm going to come over here and plug in, substitute that 20, right? So that would be negative 20 plus 30. What is y? 10. All right, now we got to answer the question. How many 4-point problems are there? These are 4 points, right? And x's are 3 points. So what does it mean? This problem has 20 problems that are worth 3 points and 10 problems that are worth 4 points. Okay, so the correct answer was 10. There should be a 10 somewhere over there. All right, are we good? Yay? All right, show me a number. How do we feel about this? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so even the people that didn't watch the video will on 3. Good job. All right. All right. Shame on you, though. And that's all I got to say. A what? Yeah, because I need a bathroom break. But let's finish the class first. All right. All right, we're going to 8.3. 8.3. All right, I think we're ready for this third method that I'm going to show you. You're going to love this. I really like this one. It's called elimination. And what do you think if it's called elimination? What are we doing? We're eliminating something. Very good. Adding something so that we can eliminate, right? But at the end, right, on the other one it's graph. On the second one I'm talking is substitution, right? And then on elimination we're definitely eliminating. So this is what you do. You eliminate, when you add these two equations together, you eliminate one of the letters. So what eliminates here? What is 3x plus 4x? 7x. And what is y minus y? 0y. Do I really need to write 0y? No. And what is 17 plus 18? 8, 5, 15, 38, 35. Very good. And then what's the value of x? 5. There you go. You're done with the x. Oh, that's cool. That's it. And then, that's it. And then I always go to the top one or the one that I haven't changed or the one that I didn't, eliminate anything. And I just go and I plug it in, right? So this would be 3 times 5 plus y equals 17. And you can go to equation solver. You can do it in your head because 3 times 5 is what? 15. 15. And then 17 minus 15, y equals 2. Or you can go to equation solver. No shame in that. Just go to equation solver if you don't want to think about it. So what is my solution? 5 and 2. And you're done. It's that simple. Oh, yeah. It's really, really hard. Yes, it is the hardest one. All right, let's go. What would you eliminate over here? The 5x's, right? So what is 5x minus 5x is 0x. You don't need to worry about that. What is 6y plus 2y? And what is 13 plus 11? So y equals what? There you go. You're done with y. And then you come at the top and you plug in the y, right? So this would be 5x, 6 times 3. Very good. And then you can either go to equation solver or try to do it in your head. Alexa, down to earth, baby, down to earth. So somebody told me -1. Do we second? No? You second? Let me see, 3. I don't see a 3 in -1. Oh, because it's a -1 and 3. I'm sorry, -1 and 3. Yeah. I know, I flipped it. Did you see that? See how easy it is to do it? So the point would be -1 and 3. Yay? All right, what would you eliminate on this next one? Very good. What is -x plus 4x? 3x, right? And then -7y and +7y, it's eliminated. And what is 18 and -30? -12? There you go. So x equals -4. Then I'm going to come over here and plug it in. Negative, and then the x is -4. Minus 7y equals 18. Then the calculator takes over. Notice how when I substitute, I put it inside parentheses. You need to make sure that you do that, so that you don't get those negatives confused. Because actually, this turns out to be +4, right? Because what's a negative times a -4? There's an invisible one right in front of it, right? All right. Negative. All right. So my point would be -4 and -2. Yes. And if you cannot find it, graph it over here, then it's wrong. It's correct. There's G. All right, what would you eliminate over here? The excess. What is -2y and -9y? -11y. And what is 12 and 54? 66. So y equals what? -6. And then come over here and substitute it, right? So that would be 4 times x minus 2 times -6 equals 12. I need to start writing on another piece of paper. Okay? X equals what? 0? Oh, what intercept is that one then? Y-intercept when your x equals 0, right? So this would be 0 and -6. There it is, so I got it right. Uh-oh, look at this one. All right, now look at the second one. I rewrote it because I like to align them. Remember I did this a lot during the summer? I align them all the time so that I can add or subtract the other way, going down. All right, is there anything in here that you can eliminate? No, you can't, because 3y plus 3y is not 0, right? But there is a way that I can do it. If I take this whole equation and I multiply it by a negative 1, right? The first one stays the same because I haven't changed it. But that would be what? Positive 8x. And this would be negative 3y. And this would be, then what have I just done? I can eliminate the y's. Now, just by multiplying it by negative 1. But it cannot be just one thing. It's got to be the whole equation that I got to multiply by negative 1, okay? So, what is 8x and x? 9x. That would be 0, right? And what is 15 plus 12? I believe that's 27. So, x equals what? 3. Now, there's a rule to this one. It's just my rule. Because you don't have to do it this way, but you work smarter, not harder when you do it this way. Always go and substitute on the one that you did not change. You see how I changed the second one? The first one is still the same. Do you see it? How it's still the same? That's the one where I'm going to substitute the value of x. Okay? So this would be 3 plus 3y equals 15. And then equation solver, or you could probably do it in your head. But again, I would use equation solver. All right, so what's my point? 3 and 4. Yay? Yes, babies? All right, ready for number 6? All right, look at number 6. We're going to do the same thing, right? But which one am I going to change? I usually just change the bottom one, right? So instead of 6x, because when I multiply by negative, I have to change everything, right? So negative 6x, and instead of 5y, and instead of negative 35, plus 35. Very good. So remember, this one is kept the same. So that's where I'm going to say, you go. You can substitute on the other one, but it's just a little harder. So don't go for the harder. All right, so what do we got here? That's 0. What is this right here? 10y. What is this right here? Is it 10? And then y equals 1, right? Oh, it's negative 10, right? Which means that's negative 1. It's negative 10, right? All right, now you come over here and you substitute that negative 1. So 6x plus 15 times negative 1 equals negative 45. And then calculator takes over. Me too. Do we agree with the one that's not my baby? All right, so what's the point? And negative 1. Yay? All right, ready for 7? Yes? All right. So, darn it, look at this. All right. The only way that I can eliminate anything, solve for x, right? Yay? No, not solve for x. I need to eliminate the y's, right? So, but this y is on this side. It's on the right side. But this y is on the left side. So, how can I put this one on the left side? Take away 2y, right? Yay? So then that is canceled, right? And then I get that 3x equals negative 2y. Yay? Okay, I'm going to highlight the one that I haven't moved because that's where I'm going to substitute, right? And then I'm going to put this over here and I'm going to align it. The 3x needs to go under that one, right? And then the negative 2y needs to go under the 2y, right? Okay, so what is this? 12x? And then that would be minus 24. And then that would equal 0. And then can I solve for x? Yeah, go to question solver. It's already solved for 0. It's already solved for 0, right? Or you can just say plus 24 divide by 12. It's what? It's algebra. You really have to be if you do not know how to solve equations, this is really hard. X equals 2. That's why not everybody can make it into this course because you got to have a lot of prior knowledge. All right, now I'm going to come over here and do what? Substitute, right? Notice how I'm highlighting the one that I did not change. So 9 times 2 minus 24 equals 2y. Okay, there are times where eliminating is really easy to do, but there are times that graphing is a lot quicker to do. And there are times that substituting, that's my least favorite one. There are times where substituting is easier to do. So I teach you all three. On the test, you decide the one that you want to use. I don't care which one you use. Just get it right. So what does y equal to? All right, so my point would be 2n negative 3. Yay? All right. All right, we got to do 8 and 9. And I think that's where I stop it with the other guys, but... All right, so 8x equals 9 minus 5y. And then 8x minus 3y equals negative 31. All right, so I want to eliminate this ones, right? But that has to be on the other side where with the number, right? Because you see that the y and the number are on the same side. Okay, so I'm not messing with this one. So I'm going to highlight it. But I am going to say plus 3y. All right, so I'm going to copy them, both of them again. The one that I haven't changed. And this one is 8x equals 3y minus 31. Is that correct? Double check my math, please. Can I put the negative 31 first? Is that going to be okay? Why not? I want to put the number and the number, right? So can I put the negative 31 first? And then the 3y is positive? Yay? Did you see I just flipped it so that the number is under the number, the y is under the y. Are you guys with me? All right, but now I still got to do one more thing. Multiply by negative 1. Very good. Which would be, this is negative, that is positive, and this is negative. Yay? I'm going to write them again because it's getting a little messy. 8x equals 9 minus 5y. This would be negative 8x. This would be positive 31, but this would be negative 3y. Yay? All right, that would be 0, correct? What is 9 and 31? I think that's 40. And then negative 5y and negative 3y, negative 8. And then after that, you can go to equation solver and solve for y. I'm not doing a thing. Don't worry about it. Do we agree? All right, now remember, I highlighted this one at the top because that's the one where I want to substitute, right? So that will be 8x equals 9 minus 5 times 5. That will be 9 minus 25. I think that's negative 16. I think x equals negative 2. Double check. Negative 2? Darn, I'm good. I better because I'm teaching you. All right. So what's my point? Negative 2 and, no, not 5. Negative 2 and x first, always, always, always. X first, always, always, always. X first, always, always, always. Oh my God, really? My feelings are hurt. Because you keep yawning. I know it's a little boring today, but sometimes we just gotta talk. Well, yes. All right, number 9. All right, this is the first one. What would you do with that second one? I would just flip it. I would put the negative 4y first, and then the 36, and then the 3x, because you know they're already, it's beautiful. All you need to do is put that negative 4y first so that they're aligned, right? This is 0. What is this? 40? And 7x and 3x would be 10x. So x equals what? Very good. Plug it in over here. So 7y, not 7, 4y plus 4 equals 7 times 4, which is 28. And then equation solver takes over. Go tell that child that's not my baby to be quiet. Yes. Ah, that's not nice, Kimberly. What is that? 6. So that, what's my point? 4 and 6. All right.